Morning.
Good morning.
All right, JP. So let me introduce you. You are the HR generalist in 724 Care. Could you tell us what does an HR generalist do or what you do on a daily basis?
Well, first of all, I just want to say good morning or, good day to, the people who will be watching. So, what my typical responsibility is onboarding, sourcing, HR facets, and people management and complement at the same time. So, that's the
Okay.
typical role and responsibilities of my job.
So being sourcing and as one of your tasks, I believe you are doing a lot of interviews on a daily basis, correct?
That's correct.
More or less, how many interviews do you do?
Um, the initial screening minimum is 5, maximum is 10 people in a
Okay.
daily basis.
Okay. And this has been already this you interview those that have passed the initial interview, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Okay. All right, JP. So the reason thank you so much for you know, saying yes in this
Mm-hmm.
invitation. I really like to help those aspiring call center agents that are scared to come to an interview. And I was thinking that, well, how can I help them? Maybe I can bring somebody on board, on the screen to guide them.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Here I have a list of questions here that I would be asking you. So first of all, what are the typical questions do you ask during the interview?
Well, the typical interview question lies if the candidate has experience or not, but nonetheless, all applicants or candidates question will, be asked the typical out of the question box or out of the box questions rather, such as tell me something about that is not written on their resume to
Okay.
begin, to start the fire or, just to start the conversation.
Okay.
Second is that we test their communication skills,
Okay.
from average to immediate and pro.
Okay. So this out of the box questions, well, literally, I mean, technically, there's no right or wrong answers to this, right? So what are you trying to sort of get out of these questions?
The wisdom of the questions, rather the what's in it for us question is that the spontaneity, we test the spontaneity of the candidate,
Mm-hmm.
whether they can speak or talk, in a conversational manner, not just like
Okay.
talking in a specific point of period. We want them to not sound scripted at all. We
Okay.
also want them and test their the way they talk in terms of their communication skills.
Okay. So basically, the question would be something that is not, rocket science. It's something that they know. For example, tell us about your family or tell us about yourself, because
Correct.
those type of questions you don't need to study those,
That's right.
right?
That's
So
right.
you're trying to ask them questions that they know the answer already, but you're just checking on how spontaneous they can converse
Mm-hmm.
and think on top of their head,
That's
right?
right. That's
Okay.
right.
Aside from out of the box questions, what are the other typical questions do you ask which would sort of determine if they have some special skills like sales skills or customer
Mm-hmm.
service skills or technical skills?
When we validate and check their communication skills, we then proceed to the scenario-based learning on where we ask candidate on a specific scenario. Let's say we source a specific candidate on a sales campaign. We will draft a single scenario-based learning Mac calls, whether
Mm-hmm.
they can keep up with or cope up
Okay.
with a conversation. So that's how we do it.
Okay. Now, what are the common mistakes the applicants commit during the interview or the entire application
Mhm.
process?
Well, good thing you asked, Miss Amy. The common mistakes that they do incur on the first 5 seconds, minutes of the conversation is they stutter. You know,
Oh, okay.
I understand that the nervousness eats their
Uh-huh.
nerves. I mean, the nervousness,
Right.
takes control of their body. But
Uh-huh.
when it does happen, they tend to stutter. Now, when
Right.
they stutter, they tend to forget the things that they want to say. It's already on the top of their tongue, or I know that it's on the top of their tongue, but when they
Okay.
when they feel stutter, that's the time that, the communication or the structure of sentence does matter.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
what
one
do you do?
suggestion.
What do you do in situation like this? How do
What
you calm them down?
what I do is that, I tend to go back to the circle back to the original question,
Okay.
such as, can you repeat what you said? So that, the paraphrasing, so that they can recompose themselves back.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. All right. And so that so that you're asking for out of the box questions, and you have some typical or scenario based questions.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, do I know that there are company who, or our company rather, also accepting remote employees and on-site employees. Would the questionnaires or the specific questions would differ for each or both?
Yes, that's correct. It differs, as our workforce synergy, we also have um, candidates who are aspiring to work on site and
Uh-huh.
remotely. Now, the difference between the two is that we ask scenario based questions, such as what if they encountered technical difficulty? No
Mm-hmm.
one is there to supervise them. So, to whom to whom will they tap to in terms of in a scenario like that? So
Okay.
we test their skills.
Basic troubleshooting.
Yes, that's right.
Right. Well, another thing is, I think in the operations side, as I've noticed, we have had several remote agents that couldn't make it work because they're because of conflict of schedules, and they're working at home. Sometimes they fell asleep and during lunchtime, and they wouldn't be able to go back, online. So these common scenarios like that, which I think would boil down to really discipline to make yourself work, even you're at the comforts of your own home.
I
some
agree.
people some people would not be able to do that, but some people would be able to do that. So how do you test this, or how do you sort of know that this person would be able to work
Hmm.
on site, or this person cannot work remotely because I don't know, there's a lot of nuisances at home. There, like, there's a
Hmm.
baby, they have a lot of dogs, or I don't know. How do you sort of pinpoint which one would work well in the remote, as a remote employee?
We test their commitment. As one of our main core values, integrity. So we ask questions whether to test their commitment. For example,
Mm-hmm.
um, what she or he will do in an event such as no supervisor or team lead will assist you or them. What will you do? So questions like that. So
Okay.
that's the one criteria or one thing that we look forward to in terms of candidates who would like to work from home. We test their
Mm-hmm.
commitment and are they going to handle task delegation whenever there's no one supervising them.
It's very hard, right? Some people think it's easy to work from home, but it's really not that easy.
That's I
Okay.
agree. There's a pros and cons. I don't want to say it's really hard 100%, Miss Amy, but there's a pros and cons of working from home.
Right. I mean, I started working from home the day my firstborn baby was born, and that was 12 years ago. 12 years ago. And, companies still exist, and we're still here, and that means it can be done. It's just a matter of having the right discipline. Okay, I think my other question for you would be, okay, I've already asked that. What are your advice? Yeah, what are your advice for all aspiring call center agents or aspiring applicants who are scared to dip their foot into the BPO industry? You're in mute, Japes.
Oh, thank you. Sorry for that. So good
Okay.
thing you've asked, Miss Amy, because this is a perfect platform so that we can provide, tips, suggestions to our future candidate who would like to join our, growing organization. So number
Mm-hmm.
one tip I would like to recommend them is just be yourself. Now, by saying be yourself, act normal as if you're talking to your friend, talking to your relative, talking to your, your family members on the phone, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in a spontaneous way. So always make sure to come prepared, do your homework, watch, English American movies that will help you read a lot of books so that, you won't be nervous, you won't be timid or intimidated talking on
Mm-hmm.
the phone with someone who is, who has this American English accent. And that way you would sound normal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the
Okay.
idea and the tip that I would like to provide to our future applicants. And always remember to be confident, because the confident will sell you within the first 3 to 5 seconds of the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's kind of hard to teach confidence, right? But it's more but when we say be confident, it's sort of like wake us up. Like, yeah, I have to be confident because
Mm-hmm.
I have to work for this. I mean, I have to get this. This is the
Mm,
only way I can get this job. So it's hard to teach it. I would not be able to teach that as well. But I think what I can say is practice.
I
Do you agree?
agree. I
Practice.
agree.
I This may sound weird, but back then I talked to myself on the mirror. On the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
I would talk to myself on the mirror, and that's just how. Well, if you have a baby brother, or if you have a mom who's very supportive
Mm-hmm.
of you, so you practice with your mom and give your mom some questions, and your mom can pretend as the
Mm-hmm.
interviewer, and you answer. Then try to record and see how you listen. Did you stutter at
Yeah,
this area, this and that? It's all about practice.
I
Uh,
agree.
Back then, before you, JP, came on board, I was doing the final interview myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I have noticed that a lot of the applicants would sound so good at the beginning because
Mm-hmm.
they practice it. Like they said, hi, my name is blah blah blah. I graduated blah blah blah, and I'm 30 years old. I have five siblings. They sound so good because they practice it. But then later on, when I don't know, the nervousness is building up, they kind of like dwindle down. So
Mm-hmm.
so I think it all boils down to keep
Mm-hmm.
practicing, try to record yourself and listen to yourself, how you sound on the how you sound on the recording. I think that's all I can say.
That's right.
Of course, and be confident. Any last advice that you can give to the audience, Japes?
And also smile, don't forget to smile, even
Uh,
though that your interviewer don't see you personally, but a nonverbal gesture is a must. Your the person you're talking to on the other line will definitely feel that you're smiling, because in that way you won't be timid as at all. Just
yeah,
smile.
right. It actually, even if they don't see you, it actually trickles down to your voice as well.
That
If you smile, and when you smile, I don't know, it sort of make you relax as well.
yes.
That's actually true. Okay,
Um,
well, thank you so
that's
much,
it.
JP.
You're
Okay, thank you,
welcome.
JP, for your time, and I'm pretty sure a lot of audience would be grateful for these tips as well,
Mhm.
and invite them to apply.
Yes, we're looking forward to, cater all candidates, aspiring one to join our organization. So you may visit our website, or rather our FB page at 724 Care, and also our LinkedIn. So all of our job postings are listed there. And our recruitment staff is more than happy to help you answer all of your questions and facilitate you as well seamlessly and, no delays rather.
Right. Thank you so much, JP. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
You too. Bye
Bye.
bye.